Welcome to jobskillshare.org. We are starting our new IT lab CompTIA Network Plus series just like we did in our A+. So if you're new to this channel and new to this video, make sure you click on jobskillshare.org. After you search this in YouTube, JobSkillshare, click on playlist. In playlist I have created one with A+, and now I am creating the new lab which is going to be CompTIA Network Plus N10-007. Now, just to remind everyone that this is a IT lab talk video where we basically go over this very quickly, all these labs guides right here. And when people buy this lab, they usually have it like a hands-on. If I click on, let's say, one of these labs like this one, and I click start, on the right side you have actual domain controllers, servers, routers, or whatever this lab is covering. You will have ability to practice. But the main reason for these lab talk videos are that we then talk about some of the real world scenarios right with these labs. So it makes it beneficial for people who are new to IT to understand why they are doing these labs, because most of the time people buy these labs or they go to colleges, universities and things like that. Maybe they take trainings for certifications, but still a lot of people don't know how to use it, or what is the reason why you even need these labs. So we are just trying to make it a little bit a combination between a real world scenarios with the labs. So in this lab we are going to start with the 007. As you can see, we have so many other ones too, so every time we teach a video for lab talk, it's going to be the new video. We're not going to cover the old ones. So I mean, the main reason is that for you to know this lab, because you're going to be preparing yourself for a new certification. But what if someone do need certifications, like let's say theory type of courses where somebody's explaining this and showing demos and things like that, like a whole course? Then remember, with our premium access we also give out our access to 200 plus courses, and these are certification based courses when you buy the premium membership. So in this case you do have a Network Plus in this access, but it is the older one, which is this one right here, N10-006. So this one just came out. I am going to cover this one. Okay, so again, this lab is a little bit more advanced lab than A+. The requirement, there's no hard requirement, but it is recommended that you should have first finished the CompTIA A+. So even if you're watching this talk video, which is basically me talking only, you should still go to the A+ first and then come back to this talk series. To get started, number one, we have introduction to OSI model. Now this is one of that boring type of lectures that you have also seen in colleges, YouTube, and so many other places that people are trying to deliver this. But most of the time what happens is that it becomes more of like a lecture and then you forget things. In this lab they try to make it more hands-on. So where you are trying to do something hands-on, for example, like it says lab topology, but then it says understand OSI model, layer 1 to 3, and then what they give you is they give you issues related to these models. So as you can see, it covers these objectives, stuff like that. You can go over that in this lab. And then you have the lab, which is right here, and they tell you what's covered in this lab: domain controller, memory server, Windows 10, Linux machines. And then when you start this lab, you can see right here they give you the model, OSI model right there, TCP model, and then explanations, and these are just kind of like basic explanations. And then you go all the way down, and then here you have some basically like a hands-on type of lab going on. Now of course this lab is totally different. They might be doing something to fix, but what they're explaining that when you're doing this, what OSI model you're working on. This makes you just like a little hands-on learning on this OSI model, which is very important, because every time if you are going to be doing a more advanced troubleshooting, if you know how to read OSI model, if you know wherever you're working, it could be on a switch level, it could be on a software level, and if you can pinpoint the situation that this is related to this model, then it makes your troubleshooting extremely easy, and also it makes your learning more advanced, because then you can really go for some advanced learning because you know the stuff. So this is the reason why I like this lab, the Network Plus, because they're not just teaching you some boring type of theory, or there's no slides going on. You just have to really do it, and then they tell you, oh, you, by the way, you were working on this model or this layer of this model that you just fixed something. This is related to that. Configuring IPv4 and IPv6. I mean, if you have to become a network engineer, I don't know if you can get away from this. If you don't know how to configure IPv4 and IPv6 addressing, then it's going to be really hard for you to do your normal networking job. Or if you had to set up some environment for someone, let's say you go to the company and you're the network engineer, you just got hired, and they told you that, look, we have a new building, let's go ahead and set up some networking devices and just create some type of subnetting. If you don't know how to do this, then that's going to be really hard for you to be able to progress in that company, because this is not something you can play around. You really have to come up with a good solid networking for that company, because after that no one touches that much. It is that help desk and system admins, they usually work on it, but inside they're working on their own things. You don't want to be working in an environment where networking is so bad that they're having some core issues. So this is very important. When someone says that you need experience for networking jobs, then they really mean that. This is not help desk anymore, where you can get away with it. You can say, okay, people like you because you're passionate and things like that. Here things are going to get tested. Network management, diagrams, symbols, documentation. When you become a network engineer or you become a system admin, then you really need to get into these diagrams and knowing what symbols means and things like that, because at some point you will create a whole documentation for someone, maybe a PCI compliance people. They are coming and scanning your systems. They want to know what diagrams do you have. Maybe someone at a higher level wants to know what your network systems are, what is the architecture, who designed this stuff, and how can we put this new thing in there, change this design, use Visio or whatever you're using. So this is a good lab for you to also practice on, because you need to know this stuff. And people will ask you what kind of tool you're using for designing, and this is where you need to use some type of tools and give some type of names in your interview or for your job. So this is it for our first video. This was just an introduction, and this is how we do our lab talk videos. I hope you guys like it. If you have any comments, please let me know. Thank you so much. How to access these labs. We give you 1 year single lab access also, and the more preferred way is to buy the premium access from our membership link. So you get to access the 100+ labs that we are going to start covering, the new ones, and you will have access for 1 year. Thank you.